I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is June 27, Friday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today and a good week. I'm going to make this video short. I know I always say that, but I got to make this 10 minutes. I figured I'd do it because I've been gone, and today was such a nice day, and we did hit a target that we talked about. 1 second here. All right, so we talked about this level here getting hit. That's that high right here from what day is this? February 18th, right? Let me just zoom in real quick. Gotta make this 10 minutes, dude. Maybe I'm just slow. I don't know. Yep, right here, right? You see that? I drew it yesterday for you guys, and we came right to it. So yesterday, if you look on the 15-minute here, you'll see that when we tap there on that PM session, first imbalance, and notice the error that I had in play. Well, I was hoping for a much more move, but that this imbalance right here, this bullish 2 o'clock PM 15-minute candle. I mean, we're inside that, and it's an imbalance. And there's a down candle right before that, which is the 145. We didn't break below that, and even if we came in, I wanted to see a level of respect. So we didn't get that. What did they do? Well, they just continued inside that gap. That gap was influential for today as well. And who's got that level on their chart? I doubt it. But very obvious. Everyone's all proud of that they hit this level today. We've been talking about these highs for a long time, even since April, popping up, but May even, and you'll see that we pushed up, we made a new high, we sealed it right there, and then we retraced back to the bottom of it. Perfect. And then we create this little liquidity in here at 50%. Let me zoom in, so I know there's no way I'm gonna make this short. I'm going to try, but see that right here? See this 50%? You have to have these levels on your chart, otherwise we won't understand each other. And if you don't, I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice. But in general speaking, by the way, from this low to this high, coming back in for a range, higher, 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 low, structure up, but creating these smooth, equal lows here. I got a green highlighted, and you see that we have my circle there. And then what did we do? We came up, we created this little sell model, this little bull flag. We pop up, then we get to that level that we talked about, and then we sold off. This is all pre 9 o'clock though, so beautiful. So 8 o'clock, you get the sell off, and then 9:30 is a little miniature dump and pump. Let me go here to this time frame. You get a dump and then a pump, and then the opening range gap. They don't hit the 50, signifying a little more bullish. Also suspect, but we'll continue here. When we tag down, look at here's the 50%. It's not a lot of shit on my chart, so 50% right there. And I do this because I don't want to draw everything, but right here you'll see that there's that 50 level, and then here you had this high, and then we broke that level, right? See the structure there? Low, high, break. All right, measured 3.5 to 4, comes right to it, and then 50% of that gap. All right. And what's right there? Remember this, they created liquidity here using that 50% earlier in the day in Asia, right? And then we have a midnight level, which I'll discuss in a second. But and then real simply, we pop in, big wick. Look at the bodies on the upper quadrant of the opening range gap. Midnight level is right there, by the way. All right, and then boom, sits on the top 25% right there. Right, I don't have it extended all the way because I did that on purpose. I didn't want it to look sloppy. All right, but it's very simple. And then we push up here with this strength candle, and we're closing above this inversion. I did not highlight that. I didn't want to. It's too much on my chart. So we push up here. We come back to that 50 here. They're using that 50 originally before the 9:30, and then to push it down, and then we flip. You see the flip? You see it? Very simple. All right, and you can see I got this last down candle open highlighted. Once we push up, look at we tag. Now we tag above those highs slightly, and then we retrace back. All right, 9:30 level. That's what's also very key later in this day. And then the first imbalance, we're using that as well, right? Push up again, retraces back down to the last candle of this flow. Beautiful order flow. And then now you're using this as an inversion right here. This is a 5 minute actually, but I'm just showing it to you on a 1 minute, and it's refined. So you can see this on a 5 minute. You'll see that we pop up, we come above, body's above, all right, and we're dancing, boom, bounce above. Where are we going? Obviously new high. So breakout candle, very important for this later in the day. Oh, we're fucking underneath it now. And then break away, little liquidity, push up through. All right, you get your drives. I usually don't count that first drive. You know, you get pretty much 3 drives here. What's a new high, right? And then that's the all-time high. And look how they did this. One thing I forgot to mention, obviously, and that's why I'm making the video, is because Friday you would expect a sell-off because of the fact that it's going to create the wick of the week. It's a bullish week, very simple, and it created the wick, right? So, and that's the sell-off, and you're expecting when? Well, you know, if you thought it was this, or this was more likely, holding everybody into a little bit after lunch and then coming down, but still a little bit too early here, even though it could have, and it could have been a good trade here. Don't get me wrong. So it's really just move 1 down. We already had that. Move 1 up. All right. Retrace, move 2, so move 2 and then move 3 back up. Now this was dirty. They didn't continue it, but you shouldn't be greedy in holding on to that trade. And it should have never broke right there. All right, I'm jumping all over the place. See here, you pushed up. We get the retracement where? Well, big push out candle. You can see that's obvious. And then you get the drives down here, right? So when this is a sell, the reason why I don't like this as a sell is because of the fact that you obviously have this dangling carrot up here, and it could push up. But if it retraces, this is a great place to buy. So again, break right there, right here, break right here, right? And then drive 1. This whole sloppiness is drive 1 here. Push down, drive 2, and then the 3 seals that imbalance almost to the tick, almost. And then guess what? You get this push up again. So look at the body sitting at 50%. From now on, I'm going to do videos. I'm just going to go really quick. I got to do something different. So I'm going to go really quick or just show you the chart. You know what I mean? And I think that's good enough. But we hit that 50% here. We push up here. Another imbalance right there. Down candles right here with these 2. You can see that we push up and we come back and we tap it using the gaps. You have to include the gaps. And the blue line is showing that that's a down block, right? So demand block. And then you're pushing up here where? Obviously, you want to make a new high, but in general speaking, you want to take out some of the easy sellers here, right? And then projection here, you can see that I'm using the whole swing from that low to that high right there, right? And because that was pretty much the last move down. And then you can see up into this 2 to 2.5. Beautiful. What do we get? Oh, almost a 50%. Beautiful. And then I was missing something else. I gotta keep moving. Fuck it. And then all right. So it pushes up here. All right, bounces back, little gap there, pushes back up. The line here, the green line that we've already hit, that's that high. You can see us dancing around it. People are making decisions based off of this. Pushes up, they kind of bring it back down. They push it back up, they bring it back down, and then look how they, oh my God, I couldn't believe how beautiful that was. And I said it live to myself, but we get a failed high here, and then that was also a divergence on S&P. On NAS. By the way, the reason for this beautiful buy right here, we had a lower low here with NAS. We had higher lows here, right? Yeah, that was a higher low. Yeah, higher low, and then pushes up. Once we came up here, we had a lower high here, and then we did sell off, but it stopped, and then another divergence happened. A lower low here with NAS, higher lows with S&P and Dow. Then it continued back up. So a nice, beautiful buy back up. And then when it got here, it didn't make a high. And I knew this was happening. And I screenshotted it literally right here. Because saw the divergence here. And it's pretty much, you shouldn't be overstaying your welcome anyway. It's lunch and so on. But in general, another divergence. And then we sell off. And then another confirmation right here is when we sell off right here. We had a higher high here with these candles here, and then lower highs there, boom, and it just sold off and sank. But the point of this is that we're dancing around that. People are trying to buy here. And it, first of all, just so you know, when it's buying and it failed, we should have never broke here. Like, you see how it pushes down? You're like, oh, it's an imbalance. We could push back up. Okay, that's fine. It's suspect, but that's fine. And guess what happens? We use this imbalance. I didn't draw this or anything. I wasn't playing around with the rest of the day, but we pushed up into that imbalance, and then we came underneath this imbalance. This is now getting used as an inversion, and okay, fine. It pushes down. You see 50% tagging it. Another low coming to 50%, coming to 50% to the tick, buddy. I mean, like, you can't make that up. And then the point is that this is now creating lower highs. This is a resistance. It's a very high chance of what the whole conversation is that we're going to come back down to get into. Wow, she's calling me every time I make a video at this time. Jesus Christ. 1 second. All right, and then what was I saying? So the point is of this type of price action, you're expecting now that sell-off for the week. But hey, it could have closed strong, but it was already strong. Take a look at the week. It's already a stupid candle. So closing up high would make sense, but at the same time, that sell-off, where'd it go? Well, because of the liquidity here, plus the inefficiency here, and I talked about us coming into, I talked about here as an option, but obviously we were up here. We're not getting that. It came right back down to that top daily bearish imbalance right there. See that? So let me, before I lose my spot here. So using this as an inversion, you're making the decision, even if you are holding this buy, you should now say, well, I can reverse here because this is very fucking likely that it's not going to work out. And then guess what? It fails again here. And then now look at that level with that high that I've got highlighted. It pops up. This is a 5-minute imbalance in here too. A miniature one, but I ain't going to go into it. You see, we tag it right there, dude. Fucking perfect. And then while this was happening, I'm like, if this doesn't keep going up, this is going to sell. Sure enough, it rejected and it sold off. Beautiful shit. But again, obviously, this was super easy. Okay, if you allowed price action to play. Everybody on their mama just posting this posting this trade on the internet. So, we've been talking about this stuff forever. But what was I going to say right now? Okay, so then rejection there. Now, I'm using this swing here. All right. Put this in your notes even. You got a projection here. Obviously, we pushed up to 3.5 to 4. We took out that buy side liquidity right there, right? But here, we get a retracement here. But I also, I already talked about this. Projection to 2 to 2.5 is the reason why it's also suspect up here. But then this has a higher body here. So we pushed up, we pushed down, and then we pushed back up and we stopped, and then we fell down. So technically for me, this is one of the last moves up, and I'm going to project that. But the way I'm measuring this, I'm not doing it from the low to the high. I'm doing a number of ways, using the bodies only on the 15-minute, using the whole range of the 15-minute. And then if you go to the 1 minute, and this is extra credit, you'll see that I got the bodies only in this area. From this low to this high, where's the bodies? I'm highlighting that. And where does it come to? You'll see that we have a 2 to 2.5 here. But what's more important, algorithmically, it's this level of the daily bearish imbalance right there. Look at the body sitting right there. Can't make that up. Beautiful. And then this is such a beautiful buy, catching this where? To a mean reversion, easy liquidity, the 930 level specifically. And then, they're falling short of that first imbalance of the PM session. Measuring this swing 1-on-1.5. Obviously, we're still sitting in that. And just fire, dude. This right here, the inkling for you should be like, yo, this ain't working out. If you were in this buy, yeah, it ain't working out. This is resistance. It's showing it. You got to mark your chart though. So it was very clear who has this on their chart. But there, boom, right there, I was like, if it's going to keep pushing up, it has to go through it. And sure enough, it sold off right there. So even in momentum, if you want to catch that, that's fine. But you're not trying to, even if you did catch this sell, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying, let's just say you did now. Then you're not looking at these drives specifically because you know that if you took the low to the high of the week, you know, where's 20% of that weekly candle from high to low? Obviously, it's a little bit lower, but there's just generally more room to keep coming down. You're not like counting this and then buying it. You know, if you know that there's an inefficiency here, you know, and there's a 101.5 right here, for example, you know, you're looking to get down here. And we get to the open day gap right here. All resistance shit. Beautiful. I didn't draw that. Another resistance right there with the algorithmic resistance there. Coming down, boom, finally getting into there. And then obviously the goal of, you know, if you're holding that, I mean, it would be nice to seal this, but look to your left here. We're trying to get these guys here. And then, you know, in the speaker world, also another thing I forgot to mention, but you've heard me say this many times, is that when you get to sort of like a top area, it starts to speaker out. So in this case, you'll see the highs here and the lows there. See how it kind of freezes up and it starts acting wonky a little bit? And that's just kind of like the speaker there, right? So, and then that's why this coming right back into a mean reversion play, and that's why that's a beautiful play as well. I wasn't going to make this video, but I felt like I should, and not should, but I mean, I've been gone and, you know, just, I felt like doing this. This is a sick day, but I did talk about, you know, the targets that we met, and then sure enough, that all happened. So, dangling that carrot for that upper top yet. They're definitely going to be hitting this probably, but in best case scenarios, it's going to hit it, but, and then maybe sell off. But the point is that it's very rare that we get to a high like this and then sell off completely for good, right? But they'll usually, when they get up here and close to because no one's paying attention to this high, but they're paying attention to the all-time high. And this is called greed. Everyone's holding the bag here and waiting. And this is trading psychology. And a lot of my weapons that I use is trading psychology. Because of my experience with the background and all that. I ain't gonna get into it. But the point is that it's Friday, it's holding the bag, and then and the big response back up into there, right? Coming back up this high, I expect to keep going, but when you have all-time highs, again, they'll come close and then reject it right back to get to these last buyers. These are all the late people to the party, obviously, and I mentioned that even yesterday, but it's very rare that we just stop from here and then keep going down. So what they'll normally do is they'll pull it back, wipe out some easy buyers, and then we'll get a push up, unless they want to, like next week, gap down, because I talked about maybe possibly a big sell-off in the last 5 days of this month, and we still have some month to go. All right, I believe there's a Monday and it's just Monday, right? But Sunday and Monday can do a lot. So, you know, let me go into it before I talk about the rest. What was I gonna say? Again, they'll pull it back and then they'll push it back up, right? So very, very, very common, and especially it being a Friday, we got time of the day of the time of the week involved. Just sitting right there. I mean, you think that come on, it can't be random. But let me move forward real quick. I talked about this, and dollar is all right, just sitting there, and then just keeping us up. And then all the majors also very simply pushed up and pulled back. That's how we got that pullback. I'm just running through them real quick right now. Obviously, NVIDIA pushing up a little bit. So then Dow obviously making more highs. And I talked about it's sealing that. I didn't even draw this one, but it did seal that. Pushed up. And then S&P, I talked about this imbalance right here. We pretty much came up and we got to I talked about this yesterday at 50% sitting here, and that was 50. Look how we came to the 50, speakered there, came up higher to the 75, just a little bit higher, and then obviously speaker time came down to get the people from the bag. I don't have it quadded or nothing, but you know, 25% sitting right there. And then that was their job, is working inside that, right? And then real quick, and then, you know, just little higher highs and higher lows, pretty much. And then please don't let me be long. 20 minutes. All right, gotta fucking go. All right, next week. I think I said everything I wanted to say here. We do have some imbalance right here, but we'll see what they do. Monday, you know, does it want to gap up first? But I'm expecting it to just keep going up from here for a new all-time high. And if that doesn't happen first, then we could see, I mean, you know, depending on the what year they want to, the historical data, you know, maybe we'll come and do something like this. All right, I don't, depending on the gap down, right? But you know, I think they're just gonna roll up. We'll see. I think they're just gonna roll up. If you ask me, I think they're just gonna gap up. All right, so boom, gap, and then pop in. We'll see what happens. But beautiful month, beautiful trading, and just fire using algorithmic delivery and also common sense and psychology. But pay attention to. Oh, did I say when we came down here? Yeah, right. I talked about this, right? Coming to the 50%, but more importantly, yeah, I talked about these equal lows. I did. Yeah. All right. I know I'm missing some, man. I can't go to a 5 minute other time frame. I just can't. Otherwise, I'll be here fucking forever. Beautiful double top here as well, right? So another sign, but equal highs here, and looks like, you know, I mean, look at it. It's a big response for it to. I don't see it coming back down right now before it takes out that high. Another side note that you would like to hear is here's what they call an event horizon here. You'll see between this high and this high. Where's 50%? Right here. I'm just ballparking it. And you'll see that that's why the price is also kind of stopped in its track right there. Let me see if I can do this for you. Almost to the tick. See that? That's not random. All right, guys. You guys have a good weekend and take care. God bless.